Hello felting friends, here we are deep in the jungle. Well, maybe not quite, but today I'm going to have a go at making a house plant. I actually have one of these in real life, or I did have, and I managed to kill it. In fact, I'm told by my family I'm the only one who can make a artificial plant wilt. So that shows you just quite how good I am with flowers. So anyway, I thought I'd have a go at this. I cannot kill this, I'm reasonably sure, but we'll see over time. Anyway, if you'd like to have a go and felt along with me, we'll crack on and I'll show you how to make this one. It's not difficult, and it's quite a lot of fun, and it opens up an avenue for lots of houseplants. So let's go and we'll see how it's done. So what we're going to need is a small template like this. I've just cut myself a heart shape out of a piece of card. The heart shape can be whatever size you want, but obviously the size you cut is the size of leaf you're going to have. So give that a moment's thought before you start. You could, if you had a heart template cookie cut or something, you could use that as well. But I didn't have anything like that, so I'm using this piece of card. I've decided on the house plant I want to make. I think it's a Monstera, this one, and then I've just chosen the nearest green I'd got to the colour of the adult mature leaf. So now I'm just going to fill in this template, and I'm going to fill it in fairly well. You'll see what I mean. Obviously I mean fill it in for the whole shape, but I'm going to put a reasonable amount of wool on this because I need enough so that I can peel it off my mat. So I've got to make sure it's not too thin, and then I'll build up from it as I lay more over it. So just make sure that you fill your template in thoroughly and with enough wool that you'll be able to pick it off the mat in a minute. I did think of making a fern, but then I looked at the leaves and it was so fiddly with all the little frondy bits coming off that I decided against that one in the end. But this was nice to do, so you'll have to let me know in the comments what your favourite houseplant is, and maybe we can have a go at making a few of those later on. I can't tell you what mine is really because they all hate me. So this is all I wanted. It was to make sure that I'd got enough to create the heart shape, and it was just thick enough that I could pull it off. But I'll show you how thin mine is. There you go, you can still see, because that doesn't matter. I'm going to build it up a little bit more yet, and I'm going to try and keep the heart shape all the way through. Now there's no reason, I've got tops and roving here, but as you'll know if you've seen any of my other videos, I have a lot of it anyway, so I tend to use it, but this is definitely a good one with carded wool. The only reason I'm laying it the way I'm doing on this one is because I figured if I've got the long strands I might as well have them going roughly in a direction that makes sense for the leaf. But again, if it's carded wool it's absolutely great, and just use that, that's fine. Again, I'm just using, as I've got bits hanging over the edge, I'm just pulling them round to tidy the edge up. But I will keep going back and tidying more of the edge later on anyway, so if you have carded wool, again, don't worry if you can't wrap it round like this. I mean, if you can do so, then do so a little bit because it helps to gather in the fibres and strengthen the edge. But otherwise just keep building up the heart shape. We don't want it really thick, but you want it so that you can't see through it. And because we're going to cut some holes in it later on, it does need to be that little bit sturdy. So I felt this little leaf a great deal because I want it quite sturdy by the time it's finished. I mean, mainly you just don't want it to fall apart when you cut the holes in it. If you didn't want to do this Monstera, I think that's what they're called, you could do something like a pothos. That would go quite nicely with this heart-shaped leaf as well. Yes, I've tried so long to have houseplants. I do have quite a lot actually around my house, but they never look ever so happy. They all look like they're surviving, but they never look really happy. I'm using this, you'll have seen me do this before, I'm just using this cardboard so I don't stab my fingers, and I'm just firming up the edges to keep the shape of the heart. Now I've got a couple of greens here. That's just me because I'm fortunate to have that choice of the greens. But you just want a lighter green because we're going to do the spines down the leaf now. I'm only showing you how to make one leaf because I didn't see that you'd need to sit through me making 4 or 5 of these leaves because it's all done exactly the same way. And then all I've done, if you watch as I pull this out, I go down the leaf, and then as I get near the end of the leaf I stop stabbing and just pull the wool away, and it just leaves fine strands. See, as I'm just pulling that wool away, so it left me a fine strand at the bottom. Now when we come to put the stem on this leaf, you do lose some of that central line, so remember to pop that back in again. And now I'm just thickening up the top little bit there. But I say we do lose a bit of that when I put the stems on. All I'm doing here is just trimming off some of the fuzzy little bits around the edge. I'm not actually cutting the shape of the leaf, except that bit that I accidentally caught. Because if you cut into it, you're going to have fuzzy edges, so just take off the fuzzy little bits. And this bit here is just deciding where you'd like the holes in your leaves. I know that some of the leaves don't have any holes, depends how mature the plant is, so if you don't want to cut the holes, you could get away with not doing that. Or you can go crazy and cut quite a few, but you don't want to cut so many that you lose the stability of the actual leaf itself. So to me this was really the only very fiddly bit, was just trying to clear the fuzz out from each hole. And I tried to keep a balance. I did like 2 on one side, 3 on the other, but don't have them opposite each other. You need to stagger them because it will look weird. Well, I think so anyway. Yes, my houseplants, I wouldn't mind. I nurture them like they're my kids. I give them rainwater rather than tap water, and I feed them, and I even talk to them, and they still don't like me. They do their best though. I think they're just tolerating me now. So with these little holes, you just need to take a little bit of time and try and get them as clear from fuzzy bits as you can. And if you find, having cut the hole, that the leaf is very thin or feels like it's going to fall apart, just go around that little bit and reinforce it with some more green. So because I've cut these edges, they're a little bit vulnerable now, so I try to just gather up the loose fuzz and just reinforce around the edge of each of the little holes. There's only so much you can do with these, and it's not being handled, so it's not too awful. I did ponder whether to use some fray check, but I know when I've used it for sewing, it ends up quite stiff, and you can see it. So I changed my mind on that one. I thought I'll just see what happens with them. But it's sat here on my desk, and it looks okay. It's not doing, because you don't touch it, so it's not really going to fray any further. The only time I'll do anything is just to dust it, and then more or less I'll just blow on it. So I'm still just clearing off any of the fuzzy bits that I can get. So we've done the main spine that comes down the leaf, and in a moment we will do the little side spiny things. I don't know what you call them. Veins, that's the word. Now you know why I don't have houseplants that live. So we're going to do the little veins that come off the main plant. If you have a look at a leaf, the top ones seem to go up an arch, and then all the rest start to head down to the little point at the bottom. So this is what I've tried to do, and I've just done it in that light colour. And I found it easiest to stab it into the vein there and then pull them away, so I could make it thinner on the ends. You'll see in a moment. I'll try a better angle for you. So I just join it to the little central bit there, spine, and then arch it up and over the top of the hole, and then as I get near the end I just pull it away like that. And each one of my little spine things is going above the hole. I am going to make some more little house plants because there's other ones that wouldn't be too difficult to do, and I think to have a little collection of different house plants is going to be quite a nice thing to look at. So I'm definitely going to let me know in the comments if you'd like me to show you any other ones once I've worked out how to do them, and I'll do that. I'll happily do some more. And like I say, if you have a particular one, as long as it's not really complex, because no, I'm not doing string of pearls with like 3,000 little ball things, but if you have, a favourite plant or something, I don't mind having a go. So let me know in the comments if you've got one that you'd like me to do. If it's your favourite, that's great. I know what I'm going to have a go at next, I think, but I'll save that and see. Let's see if people enjoy this video first. Talking of which, if you do, please do give me a like, I would appreciate it. Thank you very much. So all the way along I keep felting it down because I want a nice sturdy little leaf at the end of it. Again, don't stab that without a card holding it really. So just trimming off fluffy bits. So now all I did was take my leaves and I just ran a hot iron over them, and you'll see how much thinner it makes the leaf. I don't know whether you can tell now. I remembered to show the ironing, but oh yes, yeah, I did show you. It flattens it down really nicely, so just a hot dry iron and just go over all your leaves. So now, I confess this didn't work as well as I'd hoped, but I did promise I'd show you everything no matter what happens. So I cut some wire. I actually think if I were doing this again, I would probably just get some green florist wire and use that, because I just didn't get this one right. I've no idea why. It does go, but it didn't go as well as I would have liked. So I just got, this is what a florist wire, but you can get a green one. I'm sure you can, and I would go for something that's green already, to be honest with you. When I do armatures for animals, I didn't seem to have a problem, but whether it's this specific wire, let's blame the wire, it's not me at all, obviously, it's just the wire. It didn't go so well. I ended up getting somewhere with it, but I wasn't so happy with it. What I'd done was I used the wire, then I don't know why, I'm sure, anyway, and then I rubbed a glue stick up it because I thought that'll help hold the wool onto the wire, because the only thing I'd got was a glue stick. But it did okay. I wouldn't bother with it. If you've got anything else that's kind of gluey that you could stick onto your wire to help the wool, if you're going to do this one, I would use that, because it took a lot of, it didn't really hold it, it just glued me up, and it took quite a long time for me to get this to even stay on the wire. So if you know an alternative method, I would use that. Or if not, if you've got a bit of other glue that's not going to make a massive mess on your hands, I would glue up the wire and then put your green on. I mean, I managed to succeed in the end, even with a glue stick, some wire and some wool that didn't want to stay. So I know it can be done, but if you've got a better idea or you've seen someone else do something better, then do that. So anyway, once you've got the wool on your wire, you just need to fix it now to your leaf. This is obviously from the underside. And this is because I did this, it got rid of some of that central line down the leaf, so I went and popped it back. And it also made the leaf fuzzy, so I worked on that side of the leaf to stop it being fuzzy. As you can see, I put the central bit back. I did think that you could, I'll start again. I did think that you could wax the stalks, the stems, to make them less fuzzy or lumpy. But I decided not to, because I thought, because I want to bend these and shape these into the design I'd like when it's put together, I didn't know whether it might flake, so I didn't actually do that. So some of my stems are better than others. So you can see I also did a note. If you notice, when you see these Monstera plants, the new leaves come in paler, so they're much lighter. So I decided to do a lighter leaf as well, just to break up the green a bit. And I'm just obviously bending my wires and things to get them all to join together. Because the stalks weren't too bad in the end, because I could handle them like this and they were okay. They didn't like come unrolled, so I have to assume the glue did something. So I'm just roughly arranging them how I want them. But we'll go and arrange them more in a minute. Now, I did try on this, and it didn't come out quite as I'd hoped, but what I visioned and what happens when I 3D needle felt never works quite the same. I wanted to make what looked like a new leaf that was unfurling, so but I just couldn't get it delicate enough really, but it's another splash of green, so it'll do. And I did try to make sure, because when these leaves grow from the Monstera, they grow from the previous leaf. But once I assembled it, this does look a bit like the new leaf is growing out of the soil, which it doesn't. It comes off the previous leaf. So, but because it was a little bit bulky, it didn't really quite work. But I'm still glad I've got it there. I think I probably would. The reason I was glad is because it's that extra pop of light green. But I think if I were doing this again, don't bother with this bit, I would make another small new light green leaf. Just do an extra light green leaf, because this is a bit bulky. Because I had, as you can see, I'd done it so it was coming off the other leaf, but then by the time I gathered it all up and put it in the pot, that bit disappeared. So So here I am, I'm now just making sure I'm happy where I've basically put each leaf. There we go, they're all joined together now. So the little white pot in this cup, this is a paper cup that I happen to have, and the white pot inside it was a little ceramic flower pot that I got from IKEA. It had a little house plant in, but it had enough weight that I thought it would hold this plant without tipping up. So still using the cheap tin foil that I bought for the last video, and I'm just bulking it out so that it fits snugly in the pot with that. So I just wanted to have a nice tight fit in there. So you can use obviously any container you like that suits the size of your plant. I had to cut the cup down, so that's why it's quite small now. So anyway, now I'm just onto the soil. So it was just grab any brown that you've got that you think soil colour, or mix a few together. And I'm just going to make a disc that I can more or less lay over the top. As you know, if you've watched any of my other videos, I do not profess to be a fantastic 3D needle felter. I'm just playing, and I hope you enjoy the weird things I'm coming up with. It's nice to do this because it's a nice change from, it makes me think. And it's a lesson because I have these ideas in my head and they look wonderful, and then I come to make them and they're like, oh, okay. But I'm still happy with them, so that's a good thing. So now once you've done that and you've put it in your little pot, then it's just a case of arranging it and doing your best not to kill it. But it's sitting by my desk. I don't know if you can see in the background, I've got my phone holder and my needle holder, and it actually sits next to those as well. At this rate I won't have any room left to work on. But you can just arrange your little leaves. You can have as many leaves as you want, obviously. And if you've decided you want more, you can always go back and add another one. I don't know how I managed to cut the top of it off. I will learn this camera thing one day. But I am actually really pleased with it. I do say that in a lot of my videos, but I'm really happy with it. It's not the most wonderful, it's not the most perfect houseplant I've ever seen, but then it matches all the rest of my houseplants. So here we are. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, you might enjoy one of the other videos that's coming up on the screen. And if you did, please don't forget to give me a like, subscribe if you like to, and I will see you for next Friday's video, which is a painting, or next Tuesday's, but I've no idea what that's going to be. Don't forget to leave me a comment on your houseplants, and I'll see you then. Bye for now.